We have another packed call this evening because everybody on this call is a leader, and you want to learn from the best, and we definitely have that here this evening. This gentleman, our host here tonight, he's not just a founding distributor of our company. He's also a legend in the industry. He's been in the industry for more than 25 years, and when you want to be the best, you work with people like this individual. He's made millions. He's trained millions. He's traveled the world. He's pioneered the world. My good friend, Mr. Dan Catto, the call is all yours.
Jamie, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you very, very much. It was a wonderful introduction, very kind introduction. I'm really humbled by it every time you do it. You do a fabulous job as well as our presentation here tonight. First of all, I just want to make sure my audio is clear, and I'm coming through crystal clear tonight. How do I sound?
Loud and clear from Florida.
Great, buddy. I appreciate that. Well, you know, gang, friends, distributors, partners, business partners, we're closing out an incredible year here in 2013. I appreciate all of you coming on the line here tonight. My good friend Joe Garcia, my partner, for all of you, a great business partner and friend as well. You know, we went back and forth on some of the things that I could be discussing and sharing with you tonight. There's just so many things that I can share with you, just really about our journey, what we've done, where we are. But I think most importantly, what to cover and what we can go over here is what we're going to be doing in 2014, and most importantly, what you can be doing in 2014. It's really interesting. You know, I know we've got so many leaders that are on this call here tonight. I know Andreas was just texting me and emailing me just before he got on, and there's just so many from around the world that are tied into this call. And for so many of you, you're leaders. You've been in this business for some of you years, some of you for more than 10 years. Some of you have got organizations of well over 1,000 people, some of you thousands of people in multiple countries and markets around the world. And it really is interesting when, you know, when we call it a training. You know, our trainings are really just a story about our journey. And, you know, the lessons we've learned in our journey, you know, as we've gone along here. You know, I remember hearing the quote a long time ago, the road to success is always under construction. And, you know, Thomas Watson, the great former leader of IBM, was asked one time, how do you increase your success? And he said, double your failure rate. Well, I didn't realize 26 years ago when I got involved in the industry back in 1988, how many times I was going to mess up, how many times I was going to screw up, how many times I was going to fall down. And I remember hearing, you know, there's nothing wrong with being down, what's wrong is staying down, that, you know, the most important thing is getting up. And even more important, that doing something about it when you get up. And, you know, it's just all of, you know, the great trainings that you get from all of the wonderful leaders that we have on these calls, the trainings that you get from Jamie, the incredible trainings you get from Andreas, the great trainings you're getting from some of our young stars like Ricky V out there. You know, Donna gives just a wonderful training, you know, about the product and her journey. And all of this is really just our journey, our personal journey, and our stories of what we've learned along the way. And I think, you know, as a parent, you're the same way when you're teaching your kids, when you're sharing with your kids where to go, what to do, what should we do. Well, you know, what did you do? You know, what did you do as a child? And so, you know, I've been doing this a long time. I've been doing this since 1988, and you know, tonight we're going to be talking about dreams and your dream in 2014. Where do you want to be in 2014? What are your plans? What are your goals? By the way, don't ever forget this, is that your goals are the legs to your dreams. Your goals are the legs to your dreams. So we're going to be talking about that and how important goals are, because they really just, you know, again, the legs to your dreams that fortify your dreams and lead you and direct you and guide you towards your dream. And it's that dream and that vision and that visualization of the dream that gets you up every day, that, you know, gets you through the day and gets you onto these calls late at night, that gets you through that weekend and, you know, has you working, You know, if you're working this full time, you're working it all the time. And if you're working it part-time, you probably could be working it, even harder than you're working on your full-time job. And for all of you that are on this call tonight that are doing this business part-time because you've got a full-time job, you're doing what you've got to do, and you're doing NHT Global part-time. Well, there's nothing wrong with that, and most of our industry is that way. About 85 to 90% of our industry leaders that we have that have gained the success and developed the success that they have in this industry have gotten that by starting off part-time. So, you work full-time at your job, but you work part-time at your dream. You work full-time at your job, but you work part-time at your dream. And, it's not even so much the hours, it's what you put into the hours. So it's not so much the time, it's what you put into the time. Your time is your most valuable asset besides your asset base of your networking base that you will have, your contacts and your network that you have. But there's nothing in life that you can replace more than time. Time is the only thing that you can't replace. You can replace anything else in life, but you can't replace time. I've always said that, time will either expose you or promote you. And in your journey, it's all of those little things that you do every single day in your journey towards your dream and what you want. So, when Joe and I were kind of talking about what do I share with you tonight, what do we discuss, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how I started, where I started, because I think for a lot of us, you can share that same thing that I went through. And we do all, I believe, share an equal dream where we all want to basically have a better way of life. When we start off this journey, this incredible journey, may it be the products trying to improve the quality of their life, may it be the lifestyle that you have or the one that you don't have and the one that you really do want to have, and you feel that you can get it through this incredible journey and this ultimate destination that you have through NHT. And remember, NHT Global is really just the opportunity. NHT Global provides the opportunity. You provide the reality. NHT Global provides the opportunity. You provide the reality. Because all of this will not happen unless you take action. Jamie was talking a little bit about that tonight on our call. So many of our leaders talk about that in terms of action and how critical that is. We're going to talk a little bit more about that probably more near the end of this call and this talk that I'm going to have with you. Don't ever forget that thoughts will determine what you want. It's those thoughts and those dreams, but it's action that will determine what you get. Thoughts determine what you want, but it's action that will determine what you get. So there's two things that I really want to cover here, and a lot of you can relate to this, and that's, when I went back 25, 26 years ago, it was 1988 when I got involved in the industry. So many of us can relate to those early days. Andreas, you're going back well over 10 years. Joey, you're going back 20 years. Ricky V, just a few years. Jamie, I don't know how many years. Donna talked about 8 years here. Patrick Tulloch and I go back over 15 years. So many of us, we go back to those early days. Now, in those early days, relate to this for a lot of you leaders, and if you're new people that are on the call here tonight, you're just getting started with your organization and your team. Back in 1988, I was in my early 30s at the time. I had just spent 10 years in the corporate world, the corporate arena. I'd spent 2 years in private business. I had gotten to the top of the corporate heap in basically 8-9 years in the fashion industry in Toronto, Canada. I was making just about $50,000 a year way back then. Not bad money back then. I guess it equates to a six-figure income today. In that arena, that's not bad money. But, I was working 7 days a week. I was working 26 hours a day. I couldn't envision like a dream. I could never really dream ever of a number of things like I'm going to share with you. Number one, I could never, ever dream of driving an exotic car, just one simple little thing. Back then, I had a Ford Thunderbird. And I remember getting it was a Dodge Dart, I believe, way back then. These are the cars. I could never imagine ever driving a $100,000 plus or $200,000 or $300,000 plus exotic car. Well, that eventually did happen in this industry. I've now gone through 15 or 16 of those types of cars. And gang, I'm going to share with you some material and kind of monetary measurements here in terms of success, because and I go back 26 years ago, I virtually had nothing because I lost it all in 1988 after all of those years in the corporate world. After 10 years in the corporate world and 2 years in private business, I lost it all. I lost virtually everything. I went into bankruptcy in my own personal business. I went back into the security corporate. The company I went back in with went out of business. My wife left me. I was going through a divorce. My health started to leave, actually did leave me in a big way. Ended up in the hospital for about 2 months with ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease. Had to move back in with my parents in my early 30s and go on unemployment insurance, making $960 a month from the government. So UIC benefits, unemployment insurance. I had never dreamed before. My biggest dream that I had in the corporate world and in private business, the biggest dream I ever had was finishing the week, finishing the day, finishing the month, being able to have a bit of a weekend, being able to get out with my buddies or my friends, or at that time, my wife, which before she left me, working so hard as much as I could so I could have that 1 week vacation that I could get it back in the corporate world. That's all I could really dream about. You know, that T-bird, that Thunderbird was a huge dream. I could never, ever imagine living in $1 million home. Now I have 3, all paid for in 2 different countries. Could never, ever imagine or dream of having an exotic car or the car of my dreams. And now I shared with you, I've had 15 or 16 of them. And I could never imagine earning $1 million a year, earning a 7-figure income. Well, not only has NHT Global been able to do that for me, but my investments outside of the business, because of the business, have been able to pay me that annualized before I get out of bed. I could never imagine, I could never dream of ever being able to fly outside of Canada or travel across Canada. Now, I've been in over 100 countries because of this industry, because of this opportunity. I could never dream of that until I got involved in this industry. I could never dream of all of the people that I could possibly serve. The great book, the greatest book ever written out there says you can achieve greatness by serving many. Well, today I've been able to have over 1 million distributors to date in my organization and team, and I am now serving them. So I never thought that I could ever, until I got involved in this industry, be able to dream that big where I could serve that many and be able to give back. And gang, that is the key. When I was in that little circle, in that arena that I was in before, that corporate world that I was in, I was only surrounded, the environment that I was surrounded with was not allowing me to dream outside of that box. Once I got out of that box and I got into this world, the world that you're in, the world that we're all in, Jamie talked to you about it tonight if you're on this call for the first time. We have people just beyond their dreams. Think about it. 44 people have earned over $100,000 a month. It's actually 11 people that have earned over $100,000 a week. Think about our top income earner earning $176,000 for 1 week, not a month, a week. Huna, who's from China, who came here in 2003 with her 4-month-old child, couldn't speak a lick of English, went to a meeting in LA. They didn't allow her into the meeting because she was holding her 4-month-old baby, because it's meeting etiquette, no pets, no kids. So she listened to their ear closed to the door, listening to the meeting that was done translated in Cantonese. That was English to Cantonese. We were just looking at going into the Far East. Actually, this was in 2002. So she got on the phone and phoned her family back home, and she forwarded the product to them. By the end of her first year, $1,000 in income. By the end of the second year, $10,000 a month. By the end of the third year, $100,000 a month. By the end of the fourth year, $176,000 for the week. She could never dream like that until she got here. Just about everyone that's ever gotten involved in our industry had never been given that opportunity to dream like you can dream here. So the key, when I got involved in the industry in 1988, a couple of things happened that are happening to all of you. Number one, you found an opportunity to dream. Dream as big as you want it. Do you know that today we've introduced a program in Russia for our former Eastern Bloc markets that we're going to be bringing here? Not only a car program now that we've introduced there that we're going to take around the world. It's eventually going to come here. They're not going to be just in this car program on the recognition plan. You don't just qualify for a Lexus or a Mercedes, nothing wrong with that, or a Jaguar. You can qualify for a Bentley or a Maserati or a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, a $300,000, $500,000 car, or a Rolls Royce. Do you know that we've introduced an education program over there for our distributors where they can send their children and their grandchildren to the finest private schools and universities around the world? How big is this? So all of these things that we've been able to bring to our people through this opportunity, so many people could have never dreamed it before. I never did until I got here. You know, my mentor, when I found, number one was an opportunity, as I shared with you. There was four key things. Number one was the opportunity. The second thing is the teacher. See, back in 1988, I found the opportunity. It was this industry. It wasn't another company, but it was this industry. I met people that were earning us 6 figures a month, and they had never sold a thing in their lives. I couldn't believe what I'd found. So I knew I found the opportunity. It was going to provide not just the income, but freedom, financial independence, freedom to do what I want, go where I want, have what I want, dream as big as I could. I had never dreamt before. I could never imagine things. All of a sudden I started thinking, my God, I can afford this. I can do this. I can be there. I can have this. I can become this. I can help this. I can serve these people. All of these things started to happen back in 1988 because I found an opportunity. That opportunity in finding it was the first step to belief. And that, they say, studies say, that the biggest limitation to why people do not dream is because lack of belief. They don't dream because lack of belief. They don't believe it can happen to them. They don't believe they can be a part of that. So one was that opportunity. Number two, I found my teacher. I found my teacher back in 1988. He was barely 25 years old, just turned 25. I was in my early 30s. The kid was 7 years younger than me. But he was living a life that I couldn't. He had a beautiful home on the ocean in Siesta Key, Sarasota, Florida. I was living back in Toronto, and I'll never forget meeting him in the spring/summer of 1988. And then later on that winter, when he came to Toronto to do a big event, and I really got into his head, he came in the freezing cold, and we did a training. We spent some time, and you know, I was living with my parents at the time, and he was living on the beach. And I'm thinking, my God, one day, the kid's doing it. If he can do it, I can do it. And it was part of this belief, the opportunity in the teacher. I said, teach me, teach me, teach me. He started teaching me back in June of '88 when I got started. But gang, today, I have that luxury condo on the beach, a multi-million-dollar condo on the beach, right on the ocean, directly across from his place in Siesta Key where he still is today. It's incredible what visualization and dreams can do. Dreaming, visualization, remember, the visionaries and the dreamers of the world are really what's guided our entire history. All of human history has really been guided by dreamers and visionaries. So don't limit yourself. Don't limit your family. Don't limit yourself. Don't limit your colleagues, your friends, the people, your immediate circle. Don't limit that by putting a lid on your goals and your dreams. When I started to set my goals, and that was one of the first things that I did, and gang, as we go forward here into 2014, this is what you need to be doing and want to be doing. Open up that pot of dreams. How big do you want it? How much do you want? And there's two other key things that are going to help you make that happen in 2014 and beyond, and I'm going to share that with you shortly. But it's those goals and those dreams that you want to start laying out today. What do you want to achieve in 2014? I go back, and I do this in a lot of leadership trainings, and I remember just back in my second last training over in Russia, I was doing a leadership training there talking about goal setting and dreams, and I went over with them and I brought out my goals from 1989 and 1990 and 91. I keep my goals ever since my first year when I got started. I keep my goals. I keep my goals and I keep my dreams. And really the dreams are the things that are really close to me that I keep very personal, but the goals I'll really share with everyone because they're the milestones and the legs to your dreams. But I'll never forget when I went over the goal session, the goal setting session with that leadership over in Russia. And this is years and years and years later. I reflected on my goals. One, I achieved all of them. Not every single year did I achieve them, and I'd roll them over to next year, adjust them a little bit. What do we need to do? Course adjustments, adjustment in your strategy in your journey. But basically the ones that I'd set, every single one that I set way back then, I achieved them. 88, 89, 90, 91. Where were my goals? They were everywhere. They were in my planner. They were in my pocketbook. They were in my pocket. They were on my steering wheel. They were on my, back then we didn't have computers, but on my phone. They were, now I've got them on the computer. I've got them everywhere. I would always, always see them, those goals. But the biggest thing that jumped out after one that I achieved these goals and I would review them with them, the biggest thing that jumped out was this, how small my goals were. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. You do want to set realistic goals, but you know what? You're only limited by your imagination and what you really, really want. And really, that is one of the biggest things that I have found that has held back our people in the past. One is the dreams, or number two, the lack of belief that they can achieve it. Gang, every single one of you has the same opportunity as Garcia, myself, and every other millionaire that has made it here. It's happening in NHT. It's happening in our industry. It can happen to you. One was the opportunity. Number two was the teacher. Number three was the strategy, was the game plan. And I seriously put a game plan together back in 1988 with, I had two people that I worked closely with. The biggest one was my sponsor, who was really not my mentor. My sponsor, his name was Doug Forsberg, out of Casper, Wyoming, came from a little town where he said where they had more antelope than people. That guy had more patience than anybody I've ever met, because I used to just drive him crazy in those early days with those crazy questions. But I wanted to achieve all of the things that I saw that were happening with our, back then, the global ambassadors of that company, the way they lived, the homes that they lived in, the cars that they drove, the lifestyle that they have. I know these are sort of monetary and materialistic measurements for you, but gang, when you don't have any of that, when you're broke and you're living with your parents and you've got really nothing coming in but a little bit of government assistance, that money is right up there with oxygen in terms of need and want. But I'll tell you, it gets to another level once you achieve that, and that's the serving, and that's giving back. And that's the beautiful part of our business. As you grow in this journey, as you unfold, as your team and your organization, all of this unfolds, this incredible, incredible, incredible journey. You go around the world with your business, and so many of you know this because you've traveled, so many of you have traveled, you've been there, and you've got business in these different countries. When you get into these homes, right now, Joe and I are working with Garth Wright and an organization that's down through Ricky V and Andreas that leads down into Mongolia. Do you know that we just had someone make their first check in Mongolia of a little over $2,000? $2,000. They've been in the business now less than 60 days. A $2,000 check for, this is their 1 month check, is like a $20,000 to $30,000 check here. You're just changing the lives of people around the world, being able to give back and to serve. So when you put this game plan together, keep in mind your goal, your dream, and where you want to be. Your dream has got to be the big thing. This is the big mother lode. This is the one that is going to push your buttons every single day, get you out of bed, help you go that extra mile, get you on that bus, get you on that train, get you on that plane, get you on that conference call, get you to that meeting, get you back up after that no-show, the second no-show, the third no-show, the fourth no, the fifth no, the sixth family relative who says you're nuts for doing this. It goes on and on. But it's that dream that'll keep driving you. And you need to visualize that and see it all the time. Gang, I could not imagine all this stuff back in 1988. Excuse me, before I got involved in the industry. But what helped is that I was surrounded myself with my mentors, my coaches, excuse me, and other people that were living the dream that I wanted. And, you know, the circle that I was in for so long, I realized after, you know, a few weeks that I had been spending too much time with the wrong people. I needed to start spending more time with the right people. So I put that game plan together, and that game plan was really consisted of the goals. And gang, I'm going to do this quickly because this is really not a goal-setting call, but it's a part, the goal setting is a part of your dreams because it's the measuring sticks, it's the legs to your dreams. You want to set up your annual goal, your semi-annual goal, 90-day goals, 30-day goals, pardon me, your weekly goals, and your daily goals will be your, this is the key, coming down to your short-term goals. What are you going to achieve basically every 7 days? And those are those short-term weekly goals that you have. How many people do you need to speak to? How many people do you need to talk to? How many demonstrations are you going to make? How many product presentations are you going to make? How many conference calls are you going to be on? And it's not so much the close, okay? It's not so much the close, it's the activity. So do I need to make 3 a day, 5 a day, you know, 5 a week, 10 a week, whatever it is? The critical part to that game plan are the activity goals. I can't say it strongly enough. It's the action. It's that activity goal that you set out to do every single day if you're full-time, or if it's every other day or whatever it is that you've slotted into your time, in your time schedule. Those activity goals, and it comes down to those two things, the demonstration of the product and the number of people that you're going to get in front of. It is, I can't say that enough, it's that. If you're going to become a great scorer in hockey, it's how many shots are you going to take at the net. If you're going to be a great home run hitter in baseball, how many times are you going to be swinging for the fence? Yeah, maybe 8 out of 10 you're going to strike out, but 2 out of 10 you're going to put it out of the park. So it's the number of swings and number of attempts that you make. Mother of skill is repetition. You will get better every day at what you do in this business. But if you're not getting what you want out of this business, I really believe a lot of it comes down to the activity, the action, the activity rate that you have that's going on in your business. So one was finding the opportunity. Number 2 was finding your teacher. Gang, we have the opportunity here. That's a given. We've created nearly 50 millionaires here. That's a done. Number 2, you've got teachers all over the place, so you've got teachers here. Number 3, it's up to you to put that game plan together with your teacher for 2014. What do you want? Where do you want to be at the end of 2014? Number 4 is just about the most, they're all important, but it doesn't happen without this. You've heard me say it so many times. You heard Jamie say it on the call. Gang, you've got to take action. I've said it over and over and over and over again. Thoughts determine what you want. Action will determine what you get. You know, they say what you want is greater than the resistance you meet. You can attain your dreams. And if your dreams are greater than your fears, you can accomplish anything. So here with our business, the activity, it'll help you overcome negativity. It'll ultimately lead you to productivity. But it was those 4 key things, gang, that helped me back in my early days that I've seen helped every single one of our leaders that have gotten started here, that started to dream the dream, that really wanted to change their life, live the lifestyle, have the life that so many of the other people have been able to create here, is that one, that they really did realize, believed that they had found the opportunity. It's here. NHT Global came off just shy of a record month in November. We're just announcing now the Thailand winners, the people that have just qualified for Thailand. Jamie had talked about the call tonight, you know, the people that have gone to Dubai, gone to Hong Kong. Actually, I was in Hong Kong with Jamie. The people that were just got back from Paris and tail end of September when we had our Pretty Woman incentive promotion for all of our distributors that qualified for Paris. We've got another great incentive that's going to be announced here very shortly for the coming year that we've got for 2014, and is that cool. You're going to absolutely love it. So if you, I'm just going to leave that alone. You're going to hear about that very shortly. But all of those things are here. Anything that you can dream of is here. All of it is here. The teachers, the opportunity, it's up to you to put the execution together, to put the strategy together, and to ultimately take action. Remember, NHT provides the opportunity. It's you that will provide the reality. Gang, I'm keeping this call maybe a little shorter than we usually have tonight. It's about 35 minutes or so. But we have just had an absolutely wonderful 2013. Every one of you that I know personally on this call here are friends as well as distributors and partners. You're my partners in this business. You're friends in life in this incredible journey. But it is a wonderful journey. You know, people have said, you know, they want to go out to achieve to be happy. Well, here in this journey, you can happily achieve. You can do this forever and make this a lifelong journey of success here with NHT. So, gang, thank you so much for the great 2013 here together. We've got an incredible 2014. I just want to be a part of all of your dreams and helping you fulfill all of your dreams in 2014. Gang, thank you. Take care. Have a great night. Have a great holiday season. And, you know, there's lots of people to talk to about this opportunity over the holidays. It's the best time to get into their heads and talk to them about where they can be. One, you can share the product with them. It's a great gift item. But number two, what are their plans for 2014? What are their goals? What are their dreams? Thanks, everyone. Good night, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.